What is going on, Bears fans? We are here to talk about the Green Bay Packers defense. And my name is Quentin Crisco. You can find me on Twitter at BuckissStats. But today we are going through the All-22 of the Bears 2022 home game against the Green Bay Packers. I just got done going through this tape. I have pulled some plays that I think can be relevant to their week one matchup in 2023 here. So without further ado, let's just jump in. And let's open this up with just looking at the rosters. So the Bears O-line is improved here. Not world beaters, but they have the bones of a solid O-line, right? But they're going up against a really good defensive line. Rashawn Gary's back at edge, one of the top probably 20 in the league. Kenny Clark is an absolute monster, has been underrated for years, many people will tell you. And then, Devontae Wyatt, highly drafted pick last year, and a guy who might be primed for a breakout year, as well as Preston Smith, who's been just a rock-solid player for years. And TJ Slayton just playing a nose tackle. He's fine. Nothing to get worked up about, but nothing to be overly worried about either. Now, this Bears O-line, there's questions, man. Now, while I like what they've added, but it's still questionable at times, how healthy is Tevin Jenkins going to be? Is Cody Whitehair's hand going to be okay? Is he going to play center this year? Is Dan Feeney going to be in there? Is Lucas Patrick going to be in there? Rookie right tackles, Darnell Wright. Rookie right tackles, or rookie offensive tackles, don't tend to be world beaters, so we'll see how that works out. You're hoping Braxton Jones takes that jump. You feel like Nate Davis is, you understand what he is, so I think that the numbers here might look a little better than the Bears O-line actually is, but I think this Packers D-line is very talented. Then, in the middle of the field, that's where I think there's a little more opportunity. Devondre Campbell has been a good player since he got to Green Bay, but Quay Walker, he had an up and down year last year. There's a lot of potential there, but I think that the Bears can take advantage of some things with him, as well as Darnell Savage and Rudy Ford. Both those guys are in kind of big years to prove that they should be starting in the NFL. And I think that with what the Bears have in the running back room and at the tight end room, and with Justin Fields' legs, there's going to be a lot of room to take advantage of this middle of the field portion of the Packers defense. And finally, we get to the Packers secondary, where Jaire Alexander is an outstanding cornerback, but he is hyper aggressive. And I think you can create opportunities out of that aggression, especially based on what I saw on tape here with the Bears' improvement at wide receiver since that game, with Darnell Mooney back at full health, with Chase Claypool on the field, knowing the playbook, and with DJ Moore added to the room. I think if he plays similar to how he did against the Bears last time, I think there's opportunities. If he adjusts, I think that creates different opportunities that you need to be prepared to attack. Rasul Douglas, I think he's a fine coverage player. He's solid. I don't know if he is quite as good as his numbers were last year, but I think he's fine. He's a good football player. And then Kayshawn Nixon, I think that the Bears, I think they should be challenged to make him prove his mettle out there in the nickel. Attack him. Be rotating those receivers around. I think that there can be opportunities out of that nickel spot against this Packers defense that the Bears should make sure that they're keying in on. So now that we've kind of gone over the roster aspect, let's dive into the tape I reviewed from last year's game. Looking at some of the blitzes and coverages that came with those blitzes that the Packers threw at the Bears. So throughout this game, Packers really didn't bring a whole lot of heat. I mean, there was maybe once or twice that they brought more than one blitzer, and for our purposes, we're calling 4 rushers a typical front, or a typical pass rush, and they're running cover 3 here on the back end. So you can see that the Bears are lined up in 12 personnel, so 1 running back, 2 tight ends. It seemed to me in going through this tape that the Bears are going to have, the Bears had a fair amount of opportunities in 12 personnel, at least through the first half of the game. Let's pull it forward a little bit here. So we see there's play action on it. There's a guy jumping up on the line. So you can see like I said, it's a blitz. We have 5 guys rushing the passer here. It looks like Quay Walker, number 7, is spying the quarterback, and the Bears only get 3 guys out in routes on this. We have receiver, and I think Monty comes down in the flat here. And we see cover 3 with these linebackers just getting some flats. You're only seeing 3 routes. One of them is a running back out of the flat. This shouldn't be as open as it is. So why is that? And the main thing that I'm seeing here is number 20. What we see here, one of the receivers just runs straight go, and the other ran a post to the outside. And number 20 here just isn't getting enough depth to cover that. And this guy's got the deep third over here, so he's got here to the sideline. But we're just finding the soft spot right in between those two. That was a little messy. Sorry about that. And if number 20 gets some more depth here, this throw's gone, but he doesn't. Fields hits the guy, perfect ball. A little behind him, but we'll forgive it. And easy first down, 30-yard gain on the play. So far we know Rudy Ford, number 20, I believe he's starting in Green Bay at safety this year. So that's a guy that you might be looking to target in those in-between spots when he's not the deep cover man. He might not be getting enough depth is what I'm seeing based on that play. And a lot of these blitzes came against 12 personnel. One thing that was really notable, I thought, again, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. We got 12 personnel out here, and we see another blitz. So that's something to watch out for. You're going to have chances at some big chunk plays again when you're running 12 personnel out there, I think, because Green Bay apparently likes to blitz against it. And there's actually not a whole lot to see on this play besides the fact that Green Bay blitzed against 12 personnel because Fields missed the throw. Just poor ball. And so let's take a look at this next play here. So we're going to see this guy creeping on in. So we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys coming, cover 3, and then these linebackers, they're just playing the shallow zones. Pretty simple. That's actually the nickel corner. Excuse me. And what we're going to see here is we're going to see Claypool just run a nice slant, inside post, whatever you want to call it. And we're also going to see out of the slot here, I think it's Pettis, running essentially a go route that holds this safety up there and creates conflict between the safety and that corner, because that corner needs to stay with Claypool essentially if they're playing match principle, but it just creates that second of hesitation from the corner that creates an opening. So really to this point in the game, I mean, this is late second quarter, I believe, mid second quarter maybe. Green Bay came out pretty vanilla with just a lot of cover 3, and hopefully that's something we see again here, because it gave the Bears opportunities early in the game until like later in the game Green Bay started getting more aggressive with their coverages. Claypool actually fumbled this ball and the Bears lost it, but it's neither here nor there. So on this next one, we see Green Bay really muddy up the front here. Like so, you see right there at the snap, you've got how many guys? 6 guys in the line of scrimmage all kind of moving forward, but it's a bluff. And we see these simulated pressure type looks all the time. So you see a few of those guys drop out. Those 2 linebackers drop out, but the nickel is actually coming in hot. So we have a nickel blitz here. And again, though, we see a pretty typical for Green Bay so far in this game. Cover 3 concept. It's either cover 3 or quarter, half. Like so, I'm thinking, you know, that might be quarter, half, because I don't know why this safety would have come all the way over here for it. And then maybe that's Alexander's got the half. But so maybe we're looking at cover 6 here. That's not why I'm looking at this play, really. The main reason I'm interested in this play is because of what Justin Fields does with his legs here. So, did you see that right there? See this guy come downhill when Fields started threatening to run. So Fields sitting in the pocket, starts to move up, and that safety just lost his coverage, which let the running back just come free for all this green grass. Fields does a nice job hitting it. Green Bay throughout this game started to become very worried about Fields' legs, which opened up a lot of opportunities in the pass game, which is something I hope to see the Bears play into Sunday. All right, so on this next one, we got number 20, Rudy Ford, number 7, Quay Walker. Watch how they bite down on this play action. Bears are running 11 personnel here. Packers got cover 3, but how much they bite down creates a big opening for Cole Kmet over the middle of the field. So, I mean, like I said earlier, the Packers became really worried about Justin Fields' legs in this game, and it was clear that their number one priority in this game was don't let Justin Fields' legs beat us. And also the running backs, like they were very focused on just stopping the run, because you figured probably last year, right? If you can stop the run, Bears, you're going to beat them, because their passing attack was not up to par. So I'm wondering if they might come into this game with a very similar concept of making sure we stop the run. We're just going to bite down on play action when we need to. And you see Cole Kmet has all that space. And the other thing it does, Kmet's your first read here, so I think that's open. He sails the ball a little, and so it's an incompletion. But if he isn't open, I'm assuming he's going left to right on the reads. EQ was wide open too. So like, you got basically the Packers pulling guys down in the box a lot. You had guys coming in to stop the run, biting down against the run on run action, and leaving the secondary kind of having to fend for themselves. Like they were alone out there without a lot of help, which creates some big openings. So you see, Kmet was open. EQ would have been open as well. Sailed the throw a little, but you'll get him next time. And this is another one where you're seeing what Fields' legs are creating against this defense. So I think Quay Walker's in a QB spy here. We have cover 3 with the nickel just playing man coverage. You're looking at cover 3 here with the nickel and man coverage, and Quay Walker in a QB spy. And that QB spy is key here because it takes a guy out of coverage essentially. And okay, so it was the outside guy who was the back third. But either way, watch how Quay Walker right here, and you're going to see this route come right over here. On a typical cover 3, Quay Walker would be, floating back a little more and taking that route away. But instead, he starts inching up because he thinks Fields might run, and that just creates all the space in the world here to hit Pettis out of the slot. So you're going to see, I think, the Packers worried about Fields' legs again until he proves more as a passer. So that's going to create these openings, and the Bears got to attack these. Like, if they are running a spy, you got to attack the middle of the field on these guys, because Quay Walker, he's a hell of an athlete, but he hasn't proven that he's a really good football player yet. Excuse me. So Fields actually hit Claypool up here on the slant route, but same concept, because let me draw that again. Same concept. And you had Pettis coming across like this. That would all be kind of Quay Walker's area in a typical middle of the field coverage, but he's not in middle of field coverage. He is spying Justin Fields. He saw him move a little, so he came downhill, which just created those pockets that you can throw the ball into. Now, once again, we see here the Packers only having 4 DBs on the field. So DB. They actually have a linebacker here in the nickel against, I think that's Kmet. So really, I guess you're looking at 12 personnel here, because tight end, running back. So 12 personnel. They're matching heavy. So expect the Bears to try to get Tanyan, to try to get Kmet out there together in different kinds of formations. One guy in line, one guy out wide, and trying to create mismatches because you have a tight end in coverage, and using motion to create those mismatches too. Try to get a receiver against this linebacker here. And Packers here, they're actually running quarters. So quarter of the field, quarter of the field, quarter of the field, quarter of the field. And you're going to see that there were a few times in this game, like Jaire Alexander, number 23 here, very instinctive player, never doubts himself, always attacking. And there were a few times where the attacking paid off and a few times where it hurt him. This is one of the moments where it hurt him. Like, so just check this out. Watch 23 at the bottom there. See, he's like shuffled and then stopped his feet because he's like, he is waiting for this route to come back in so he can dive down on it. And instead, EQ is able to just run right by him. Now, Alexander's got speed to recover, so he does get back to the play, but like, you had a one-on-one shot on the outside, took it, hit it because Alexander was expecting a slant route, a short route that he could dive in on and try to break up, and instead he let the guy just run right by him. So look for the Bears to try to see if they feel like they have, and he very well might be playing with more respect against a DJ Moore or Darnell Mooney or even a Claypool on that outside, to where he's like, all right, I can't get beat on that move like that. But like, there's no reason why EQ should be separating like that from him there, unless he's just waiting to dive down on the route. And then again here, so we got 23 down at the bottom of our screen. We're gonna see something very similar. This one's more obvious because it's a double move. So we see 11 personnel here, but again, this is cover 4. And the Packers are actually only bringing 3 guys. The Packers are like in a max coverage type situation. One of these guys drops on the line of scrimmage, drops into coverage. I think it's 47 here. Let me clear that up. I think it's 47 here. He drops back, and you're only bringing 3 guys. It might have been someone else. I think it was 47 though. So you're gonna see, I think this is Harry run a hitch and go double move, and Alexander's all over the hitch. Like, he is hyper aggressive on it. He wants to pick this ball off, and instead Harry runs right by him. Again, Alexander's fast. He catches up, but it's still a catch. And against DJ Moore, that's gone. Against Darnell Mooney, that's gone. Against Claypool, that's gone. So there is, if he is playing that aggressively again, there's going to be some chances for shots downfield. He very well might not be, because that's where Alexander gets his name. That's what he does. He is a absolute dog out there. He's going 100 miles an hour at all times, and he is coming for you. But that does leave him susceptible to things like double moves like that. So, like, yeah, just look right there. See, I mean, if he throws the hitch, and it looks like Fields did have a nice little pump fake there to sell it more, which you love to see. Oh, you love that. Watch the pump. Watch the pump, then look at Alexander. I mean, that would have been pick city if Fields actually threw that, but instead, it's gone. And he sold it with the little scramble out too. That was very nice. Where Alexander can absolutely destroy you is with those same instincts and that same aggression. So on this play, it's just a quick screen out to Claypool right here. Here's Alexander. It just doesn't doubt it for a second. The second this ball is snapped, he is charging downhill on Claypool and gonna try to get that football. And that's, like I said, that's what he does. Alexander's a good player. He's a playmaker, and he's gonna get his at times. Like, see, look, just not fooled at all. Don't try the screens against Alexander, evidently. All right, now we can get to some of the run defense. And on this one, watch Kenny Clark, number 97 right here. I mean, this guy can wreck a run game, wreck a game plan. He is just a hell of a football player. Like, he just takes care of Whitehair here, and the double team bounces off it. Like, bounces off it. Let's do it in slow-mo. Like, he's fine. Stuffs it up. 25, Nixon comes in for the cleanup. Nice run stop there. And again, this time, you're seeing him in at nose tackle. That's like a one technique against the center. And Sam Musfer's not here anymore, but doesn't change the fact. I mean, if it's Dan Feeney, whoever it is starting at center, Lucas Patrick maybe, Kenny Clark can wreck your day. And again here, we see him with a little help from 47 off the edge, just coming in and stuffing this thing up. Like, ugh, man. Clark is dangerous. Like, he can mess everything up. And we've picked on Quay Walker a little bit to this point, number 7, the linebacker. but he is an athlete, man. Like, this guy can move. He probably had some pretty tough assignments in this game, being a spy, being one of the most athletic players in the field for the Packers, and being asked to use that to try to match Justin Fields on this play. He did. So this one isn't a straight run. This is more of a scramble, but you see Walker right there. Like, he gets into coverage, takes away the route from Fields that he's reading, and then Fields starts to scramble, and he just goes and gets him. I mean, he is running with one of the fastest guys in the NFL right there. Quay Walker is running with Justin Fields, who's one of the fastest players in the NFL. Great job by him. He is a guy who is going to be, I would assume, matching up with Fields down for down. Like, it's your job, it's Quay Walker's job to keep tabs on Justin Fields' legs. And he also had some nice plays as a stack and shed linebacker. Like, right here, Quay Walker's right in the middle. Bears are going to run the football here, and he's going to get off the block and make a play. See the physicality he brought to the block? Like, just gets his hands into Whitehair with a punch, gets him off him, and goes in. 96 had already started to get him, but, like, I liked Walker's ability to shed that block and get in on the play. He is a very high ceiling football player, in my opinion. And how he does in year 2 here, we have no idea. He had a lot of ups and downs last year, but I think he's a guy who can be a difference maker on this Green Bay defense. So on this play, number 55 here, Enagbare, who I don't know if he's going to be playing a whole lot in this game for the Packers. I believe Rashawn Gary was out, so Enagbare was playing. But if Rashawn Gary's back this week, I'd expect to see more of him on the edge. And I haven't touched on him in this, but he's a player. Like, Rashawn Gary can get after it. So 55 comes in too hot on the read option play here, and number 7, Quay Walker, actually does a nice job keeping it clean, forcing the action back inside to where 55 can recover and get the tackle. So you see he over pursues, Walker forces Monty back inside, and Enagbare is able to recover because he forced him back inside. We've been sitting here singing some of Quay Walker's praises, but there's still, as a run defender, but there's still stuff that he gave up pretty nice plays here too. So on this one, you'll see both Quay Walker and Adrian Amos will follow Justin Fields on this read option that he hands off to Monty, and Monty's able to get a nice chunk of yards because both those guys follow. Like, it leaves just a sea of grass for Monty to follow because they were just worried about Justin Fields' legs. They were saying Justin Fields' legs won't be what beat us, and they honestly did it all game, and they won. So kudos to them. But I'm hoping the Bears can continue to take advantage of that. Like, see that there's really more Amos than anything, that he's the last line of defense there, and he's like worried about Fields. So Amos isn't there anymore. He's not going to be starting. But you hope that same mentality persists with the Green Bay defense, that we are more worried about Justin Fields than anyone else on this field, and we are going to make sure he is not stopping us, or he is not beating us. It wasn't even Monty, actually. That was Darrington Evans, number 21 for the Bears, who is no longer with the Bears. But hopefully you can see Juice Herbert getting some touches like that. And this last one I just had to touch on. This is a scramble from Fields. This is a read option from Fields. And he just jukes the guy out of his shoes, and he's gone. So you're going to see number 55 crashes down for the running back, which gives Fields his initial window, which, maybe that's what his coaches want him to do here. It probably is on 55. Like, go make sure the running back's good. You got number 7 behind you, but number 7, he's getting cracked down there. And you're going to see the corner come in here. So the corner's got outside contain, but Fields just makes a miss. Simple as that. And half of this guy's job is just trying to force the action back towards the middle of the field so Amos can come clean it up. But even if he just forces it back to the middle, Amos still has to be able to tackle Fields there, and Fields has proven that he is just a dynamic runner. And one of the things that I really noticed in this is Rasul Douglas, number 29, was not all that eager to get involved with this play, to get involved against the run. Like he kind of checked out, which maybe you can wonder, like, maybe we can break some stuff to his side of the field in this game, because watch him just kind of, where's he going? What's 29 doing? Like Fields he's either here or here, and 29 was actually backpedaling this way still. That might be something worth looking at for the Bears, and for any team against the Packers. Like, make Rasul Douglas get involved in the run game. Touchdown. And so that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I want to hear from you guys. So until then, go Bears. Make sure to go check out my content at OnTap Sportsnet. Check out my podcast for all NFL, all the time, plus plenty of college football. We give out weekly picks for both. Shaving Points Podcast. You can find that at shaving-points.com or anywhere where you can find podcasts. And also, if you're a Bears fan, check out Bears on Tap. Every week, me and my co-hosts are talking Bears, talking new topics. We're trying to bring you guys new, more fun content, not just the typical pregame, postgame talk. So make sure to go check that out. I appreciate it. Have a good one.